Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't just listen. Pause, reflect, and take notes. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like and hype button, then subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. Now, let's jump into our first expression. Number 1, cost a pretty penny. This is a really common idiom that we use when something is very expensive. It means that something costs a lot of money. When we say pretty penny, we're not talking about a coin that looks beautiful. We're talking about a significant amount of money that you have to spend on something. Native speakers use this all the time when they want to emphasize that something was pricey. Let me tell you about my friend Sarah. Last month, she wanted to buy a new laptop for her design work. She went to the electronics store and found the perfect one with all the features she needed. When she saw the price tag, she called me right away and said, "Girl, this laptop is going to cost a pretty penny, but I think it's worth it for my business." She ended up buying it because she needed it for work, but she definitely felt the impact on her wallet. For example, you might hear someone say, "That wedding dress is beautiful, but it's going to cost a pretty penny." Here's another one. "I really want to take a vacation to Japan, but I know it's going to cost a pretty penny." People often say, "My car repair bill cost a pretty penny, but at least it's running smoothly now." Have you ever bought something that cost a pretty penny? Let me know in the comments what it was, and if you thought it was worth the money. Number 2, bite the bullet. This idiom means to do something difficult or unpleasant that you've been avoiding, but you know you have to do it anyway. It's about facing a tough situation with courage and just getting it done, even though you don't really want to. The interesting thing about this expression is that it comes from old military history, when soldiers would literally bite on a bullet during surgery to help deal with pain. But now, we use it for any difficult decision or action. My cousin Jake had been putting off going to the dentist for almost 2 years because he was scared. His tooth was hurting more and more every day, and he knew he needed to get it checked. Finally, his girlfriend told him, "Jake, you need to bite the bullet and make that appointment. Your tooth isn't going to fix itself." So he finally called the dentist, went in for his appointment, and you know what? It wasn't as bad as he thought it would be. Sometimes we make things scarier in our minds than they actually are. For example, you might say, "I know I need to have a difficult conversation with my boss about my salary. I guess it's time to bite the bullet." Let's take this one. "I've been avoiding cleaning out my garage for months, but I need to bite the bullet and get it done this weekend." Imagine this scenario. The presentation is tomorrow, and I haven't prepared yet. I need to bite the bullet and work late tonight. What's something you've been avoiding that you need to bite the bullet and just do? Share it in the comments. Maybe we can give each other some encouragement. Number 3, I slept through my alarm. This is a very common sentence that we use when we accidentally sleep too long and our alarm clock doesn't wake us up. It means that even though your alarm was ringing, you continued sleeping and didn't hear it or respond to it. This happens to almost everyone at some point, and it's usually pretty stressful because it means you might be late for something important. This actually happened to me just last week. I had an important video call with my team at 9 a.m., and I set my alarm for 7:30 so I'd have plenty of time to get ready and prepare. But you know what happened? I slept through my alarm and woke up at 9:15. I was so panicked. I quickly grabbed my phone and saw 3 missed calls from my colleagues. I had to send a quick message saying, "I'm so sorry, I slept through my alarm. Give me 5 minutes and I'll join the call." Thankfully, my team was understanding, but I felt terrible about it. Now I set multiple alarms just to be safe. You might hear something like, "I was supposed to catch the 8 a.m. train, but I slept through my alarm and missed it." Here's another one. My mom called me at noon asking where I was, and I had to admit that I slept through my alarm again. People often say, "I slept through my alarm and was 2 hours late for work." My boss was not happy. Do you ever sleep through your alarm? What do you do to make sure you wake up on time? Let me know your tricks in the comments because I could definitely use some advice. Number 4, that's dope. This is modern slang that means something is really cool, awesome, or impressive. Young people and even adults use this word all the time to show that they think something is great or exciting. It's a very positive expression, and you'll hear it a lot in casual conversations, especially among friends. The word dope used to have a negative meaning, but in this context, it's completely positive and means something is fantastic. My teenage nephew showed me his new skateboard tricks last weekend. He spent months practicing, and when he finally landed this really difficult trick, I said, "Wow, that's dope. I can't believe you learned how to do that." His face just lit up because he was so proud of his progress. Later, when we were looking at his friend's artwork on social media, he kept saying, that's dope about all the creative designs." It's just a fun way to express that you're impressed by something. For example, someone might say, "Did you see the new movie that came out? The special effects are dope." Imagine this. My sister just got accepted into her dream college. "That's dope. Let's take this one. I love your new haircut. It's really dope." Have you heard young people use this word before? What do you think is dope in your life right now? Share in the comments. I'd love to know what's exciting you these days. Number 5, you blow my mind. We use this idiom when someone or something completely amazes us or surprises us in an incredible way. It means that something is so impressive, shocking, or unbelievable that it's hard for your brain to process it. We use this when we're really, really impressed, or when someone does something that exceeds our expectations by a lot. My friend Maria is learning English as her third language, and she's been studying for only about 8 months. Last week, she gave a presentation entirely in English at her job, and it was absolutely perfect. Her pronunciation was clear, her grammar was excellent, and she sounded so confident. After the presentation, I told her, "Maria, you blow my mind. I can't believe how much your English has improved. You're incredible." She worked so hard to get to that level, and seeing her success was just amazing. You might hear something like, "The way you solved that math problem so quickly, you blow my mind." Here's another one. My grandmother is 85 years old and she just learned how to use Instagram. She blows my mind with how quickly she adapts to technology. People often say, "The fact that you can speak 4 languages fluently, you blow my mind." Who in your life blows your mind with their talents or abilities? Tell me in the comments about someone who really impresses you. I love hearing about people who inspire others. Number 6. My brain is fried. This is a really relatable idiom that means your brain is exhausted from thinking too much or working too hard. It's like when you've been concentrating for so long that your mind feels tired and you can't think clearly anymore. We often use this after a long day of work, studying for exams, or dealing with complicated problems. It's a casual way to say that you're mentally tired. Yesterday was one of those days for me. I spent 6 hours working on a really complex project, trying to figure out all the details and make sure everything was perfect. By the time evening came, I couldn't even decide what to have for dinner. When my roommate asked me what I wanted to eat, I just looked at her and said, "I can't even think about food right now. My brain is fried." She laughed and said she'd just order pizza, which was exactly what I needed because making any decision felt impossible at that moment. For example, you might say, "I just finished taking 3 exams in one day. My brain is totally fried." Let's take this one. "After working on taxes all afternoon, my brain is fried. I need to take a break." You might hear something like, "I've been studying for 8 hours straight. My brain is fried and I can't absorb any more information." Do you ever feel like your brain is fried after a long day? What do you do to help your mind relax and recover? Share your tips in the comments because I think we all need good ways to recharge our brains. Number 7. Time to hit the hay. This is a fun idiom that means it's time to go to bed or go to sleep. It's a casual and friendly way to say goodnight or to announce that you're going to sleep. The expression comes from old times when people actually slept on hay, but now we just use it as a playful way to talk about bedtime. You'll often hear parents say this to their children, or friends might say it when they're ending a late-night conversation. Every Sunday night, my family has a tradition where we all watch a movie together. Last Sunday, we were watching this really long adventure movie, and by the time it was over, it was almost midnight. My dad stretched and said, "Well, that was a great movie, but it's definitely time to hit the hay. I have an early meeting tomorrow morning." My little sister complained because she wanted to watch another movie, but my mom agreed and said, "Your dad's right. It's time for everyone to hit the hay. School starts early tomorrow." People often say, "I have to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow, so it's time to hit the hay." Imagine this. "We've been talking for hours, but I'm getting sleepy. I think it's time to hit the hay." For example, you might hear, "The party was fun, but it's getting late and I'm tired. Time to hit the hay." What time do you usually hit the hay on weeknights? Are you a night owl or an early bird? Let me know in the comments what your sleep schedule looks like. Number 8. I bit off more than I can chew. This idiom means that you took on a task or responsibility that is too difficult or too much for you to handle. It's like when you put too much food in your mouth at once and you can't chew it properly. We use this expression when we realize we've committed to doing something that's beyond our abilities or available time. It often happens when we're being ambitious, but maybe not very realistic about what we can actually accomplish. My brother Tom learned this lesson the hard way last month. He's always been very ambitious and confident in his abilities. He signed up to take 4 college courses, got a part-time job, and also volunteered to organize his friend's wedding, all at the same time. After just 2 weeks, he was completely overwhelmed and stressed out. He called me and said, "I think I bit off more than I can chew. I can't keep up with everything." He ended up having to drop one of his courses and ask someone else to help with the wedding planning. Sometimes we need to be honest about our limits. You might hear something like, "I agreed to bake cookies for 3 different events this weekend. I think I bit off more than I can chew." Here's another one. "I thought I could renovate my entire kitchen by myself, but I bit off more than I can chew." Let's take this one. Taking on that extra project at work while moving to a new apartment, I definitely bit off more than I can chew. Have you ever bitten off more than you could chew? What happened and how did you handle it? Share your story in the comments. I think we've all been there at some point. Number 9, it's on the house. This is an idiom we use when something is free, especially at restaurants, bars, or stores. When the business owner or employee says it's on the house, they mean that you don't have to pay for it. The business is giving it to you as a gift, usually because they want to be nice, show appreciation, or make up for a problem. It's a generous gesture that always makes customers feel special and happy. This happened to me at my favorite coffee shop last month. I go there almost every morning before work, and all the staff know me by name. One day, I was running really late and I was obviously stressed. When I ordered my usual latte, the barista looked at me and said, "You look like you're having a rough morning. Don't worry about paying today, this one's on the house." I was so surprised and grateful. That small act of kindness really brightened my whole day and reminded me why I love that coffee shop so much. Now I always recommend that place to my friends. For example, you might hear a waiter say, "I'm sorry your food took so long to arrive. Your dessert tonight is on the house." Imagine this scenario. It's your birthday. "Well then, this drink is on the house." "Happy birthday," people often say. "The manager heard about the problem with your order, so your entire meal is on the house." Have you ever had something on the house at a restaurant or store? How did it make you feel? Let me know in the comments about a time when someone's generosity surprised you. Number 10. How did we end up here? This is a question we ask when we find ourselves in a situation that seems strange, unexpected, or completely different from where we started. It can be used literally when you're lost or confused about your location. But it's often used more metaphorically when you're reflecting on how your life or circumstances have changed in surprising ways. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes negative, but it always expresses a sense of surprise about the current situation. My best friend Jenny and I experienced this perfectly last weekend. We started the day planning to have a quiet afternoon at home, maybe watch a movie, and do some cleaning. But then her neighbor knocked on the door asking for help moving a couch. While we were helping, we met her neighbor's friend, who was a photographer. He mentioned he was doing a photo shoot at the park and needed some extra people for background shots. Before we knew it, we were at the park, being part of a professional photo shoot for a local magazine. At the end of the day, Jenny and I looked at each other and said, "How did we end up here?" It was such a random and fun adventure that we never could have predicted. You might hear something like, "We started by just looking at one house, and now we've seen 15 properties. How did we end up here?" Here's another one. "I came to the store to buy milk, and somehow I have a cart full of things I don't need." How did we end up here? Let's take this one. 5 years ago, I was studying accounting, and now I'm running my own bakery. How did I end up here? Think about your own life. Has there been a moment when you asked yourself, "How did I end up here?" Maybe it was a good surprise, or maybe it was confusing, but I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Let's recap what we learned today. We covered 10 amazing expressions that native speakers use all the time. We learned about "cost a pretty penny," for when something is expensive, bite the bullet for facing difficult situations, and I slept through my alarm for those mornings when we oversleep. We talked about "that's dope" as a cool way to say something is awesome. You blow my mind for when we're really impressed, and my brain is fried for when we're mentally exhausted. We also learned time to hit the hay as a fun way to say goodnight. I bit off more than I can chew for taking on too much. It's on the house for getting something free. And how did we end up here for those surprising life moments? These expressions will make your English sound much more natural and help you connect better with native speakers. Remember, the key to mastering these is practice, so try using them in your daily conversations whenever you get the chance. If you found this helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe for more English lessons. I'll be back tomorrow with 10 more idioms, phrases, and sentences that will take your English to the next level. Which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today? Let me know in the comments which one you're most excited to use, and tell me about any situations where you think these expressions would be perfect. Take care and keep practicing your English. You're doing an amazing job, and I'm so proud of your dedication to learning. See you tomorrow for more English fun.